Hey guys, it's May and welcome to our 5th day of the On Trend series. Now this will be our final day in this week. However, if you're really enjoying this series, let me know because there were several trends I really would have liked to have touched on that I didn't quite hit this week. And if you'd like for it to continue, let me know and I will see how we can fit this into our everyday scheduling. Now today's topic is kind of hard for me to title because I'm not exactly sure what to call it, but I'm gonna just kind of call it a composition explosion because that's basically what it is. I've had a couple people talk to me about composition being an issue for them, and it can be an issue because if you don't lay a card out just right, you don't get that pleasing look to the eye. But then again, nowadays with all this, repeat performance of things, it's kind of simple to just go stamp, 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 but you still have to like what you look at. You still have to have a feel for the composition being pleasing to you. Now today's is interesting, so if you have a problem with composition, this should cure it because this is one of those you just can't go wrong kind of things, seriously. So let's take a look at some samples. In order to let you see exactly what's going on with this technique, I wanted to show you how this paper began its life. This is the sheet before any embellishments are put on it. You can see that it has this built-in photo mat. It's just one-dimensional. I didn't add this. This is actually in the paper. And then it has this beautiful flower in the background. So there's how this one began life. And this is how it is now living. Let me stack these up. Now this one's difficult to make out all of the elements, so we're just going to kind of go through them for a second. If you notice, on this side there are these little banner pieces that have been cut. These came from a page in the pack that this paper came from, where you get the little strips on your page. I just cut them down and turned them into banner pieces. The next thing I want to show you is these words. Live, blossom, and grow. Those words came from the paper pack as well, and I just cut around them in kind of a bubble shape and added those. And then this strip that says make each day precious was also from that same strip sheet. Now the only other thing I've added here are these buttons and some baker's twine. This is actually a button punch from Martha Stewart. I've probably shown this before in a video, but it looks like this, and it punches and embosses. So that's how that one turns out. Now, here's the deal with this. Let's look at these two pages side by side. This will get easier to see as we go, but I wanted to show you a very, very exploded graphic, okay? Now, this one was very simple, and before I put down any of these banner pieces, I cut, and you can barely see it in the background, there's this green half circle. I cut this green half circle and added it to give me kind of a base to start with, and then these banners are just stacked on top of each other, and there is dimension. I want you to be able to see that there is dimension to this. You may even see, there they are, the dimensionals in there. So I have stacked them up and down so that they get lots of movement. This is a new trend this year. This is something I've seen that it's very intimidating at first. I'm going to be honest because you sit down and go, okay, so basically I'm supposed to make a mess. Because that's kind of what you're doing. And you're just stacking on top and on top and on top. So this is one example of exploding composition. Let's look at another one. Exploding composition number 2. Again, I want you to see how this piece of paper began life. This is what it looked like when we started. Now, I have these little, let me show you. I have these little Snap Simple Stories from, it's actually from Simple Stories. I just gave you a sneak peek. No, can't look yet. Okay. So I have this little 6x6 pad, and I used it to help create this explosion of graphics. So from this, we get this. Now this is a really good example of the explosion. I think you'll really be able to see it here better than the first one. But I wanted to show you the first one because I really loved it. And I thought, I know it's a lot going on, but it really worked. So here we go. So this is how this page began. And as you can see, I'm going to get rid of this one because of that bad edge. As you can see, I took elements from pieces of the paper inside and cut them out and then stacked them on top of each other. Now in the very, very background, this is a chevron piece of paper that I tore the edges to give it some interest. And then there's another piece of paper on top with torn edges just to add interest. And then each one of these are different little graphic pieces from the pack. Now here's what's interesting about these explosion graphics. They typically live in one portion of the page. You don't have them on the whole page, which in the past with scrapbooking we tend to want to make sure we have an element in every corner and center and every different offset. But this new way of looking at things is to really concentrate in a section of the page and then pow, just explode with your graphics. So I'm going to bring this up a little bit. You can see where there's places for photos. You can put one here, all through here. You can see all the cute little captions. This says love this and this and this. So it's just really cute. It's a great way to do a little project life journaling. This is a 6x6 piece of paper, but you could so do this in 12x12. The idea is to concentrate your graphics in one place, and it does not have to be along the side of the page. You can also go across the bottom. Now I'm showing you two scrapbook layouts, which this could also be a 6x6 card, but I thought today we'd make a card today using this explosion technique. So let's get started. So for this card, we're going to use just a standard A2 size card, and I'm using craft cardstock. Now, what I have done to start the creation of this is go through one of those small paper packs I just showed you, and I've gotten elements of every different kind. And let me show you. Little photo, little caption bubbles, more caption bubbles. This is a little photo mat. This is a sentiment. Here's a calendar. I also cut this strip of paper, and then this little caption bubble. So as you can see, it just kind of looks like an exploded mess here. But we're going to make it look cool, and we're going to do it with the concentrated composition. So let's get started. I'm going to move all of these things out of the way. And what I have in mind is to start with this piece. Now, as you know, the card is going to fold like this, but I'm going to work on it flat. And so this piece, in my mind, I want it to go here. And this is going to kind of be the base for where my graphics explode from. So I'm just going to focus in this area. So I'm going to go ahead and stick that down. So I've got that in place. And then this sentiment, I thought this was really cute. And I was trying to decide how I want to do this. But this is where you start to play a little bit. This makes no sense, does it? This big border piece makes absolutely no sense. However, it's kind of the thing now. It's just building off of one location on the card with different graphics. So we're going to use it. My thought process was I would kind of frame this sentiment using this border or using this frame. So let's just see if that'll work. I think that looks pretty good. And I was going to banner cut that, but I think I'm not. I think I'm just going to stick it down like that and trim it. So let me trim it a little bit. With this technique, one thing I really like about it is it opens up the opportunity to use a lot of the images and graphics that are included in your paper packs that sometimes we just don't mess with because we're not sure how to use them. But this way, I was able to dissect 2 or 3 pieces of paper and get all these little pieces. So let's see. I may pop this guy up a little bit. I think that might be cute. See, that's looking pretty cute right there, isn't it? I don't know if I want to pop him up. I'm going to put him flat because I think he'll look good smushed down. Let's go at it with some tacky glue. And I know this seems to make no sense, but for some reason when you finish it, it all kind of just comes together. It just sort of, it becomes very cohesive. Okay, let's look at what else we've got. I've got this little arrow that would be cute right here, I think, overlapping. And this calendar seems funny, but if you were sending a birthday card, wouldn't it be cute to put the month and the year and then circle the day that is their birthday? I thought that would be super cute. That seems a little bit big. I kind of wanted to use this, but I'm thinking all of these little speech bubbles are going to be super cute. So let's put this guy in place, and I'm going to pop it up. Let's cut it here. Do you see how it's just layer on top of layer like this? And I'm no expert at this. I mean, this is something that I don't think you can become an expert at because you just play with it and you stop when you feel like it's right. You just go, oh, that's it. I'm stopping right there. And I'm not there yet, obviously. I'm going to pop this little arrow up to say hello. Just like that. Then I'm going to use some of these little guys. And I'm going to pop this one up. If you notice some of the stuff we talked about earlier in the week about repeating graphics, we're also doing that because we're going to repeat this speech bubble several times. So I like this little one right here that says seriously. I say seriously a lot. So I thought it was appropriate. These little pieces of my big fingers are a little harder to work with. Let's put seriously down here. Another thing that you notice is that you kind of overlap and make this become almost like one big graphic instead of a bunch of little ones. So we're kind of tying everything together. Let's do love you in this corner. And then I like the way this little smile caption is, so maybe I'll put it there. And see how you would think it's too much, but it's just not. For some reason, it works. And I like this little smiley face too. I think I'll put it right there. See how you just can't really, I don't know. It's so weird how it works, because I would never do anything like this. I would normally have, you know, my mats and my graphics where they go and everything in perfect order. But for some reason, this really ties things together. Now, I'm going to move these out of the way because I think they're a little too big for what we're doing. And it's also a good place to use washi tape when you're doing this, because if you want to add some color or some border somewhere else, I'm going to try using some of this washi tape. I don't know if it's going to go perfectly, but we'll see. I think I'm going to put some in this area just for looks. And I tore it a little too long because I'm going to trim that off in a minute. And then maybe a little bit at the top here. Just a little piece here. I'm going to fold this back and trim that piece. Now, you don't have to stop here. You can continue to add, believe it or not. Let me show you what I mean. This is a glitter pen, a jelly roll pen from Sakura. I'm going to color in this heart. Super cute. And then you can add it anywhere you want to. I think I'm going to add a little glitter line here to bring some glitter down. Maybe some dots. And then maybe a little line here. Something like that. And then I'm going to bring in my white pen. And I'm even going to do some dash lines. And I'm going to do it right here in this section. And so you can stop there, or you could keep going, which is so interesting because it still works as you add graphics. But this is what I mean by exploding graphics. And this is kind of the thing now. What I'm going to do is create a Pinterest board for you, so you can go check that out. And it's just going to be exploding compositions. And that way, whenever you're looking for these things, you'll know where to look, because that's just what I think they're like. It's like an exploding combination of graphics. So let's look at our samples again. So let's talk about the big guy first, and you can see how everything is concentrated to this side. But once I add my image here, it's really going to pop, and this can be really pretty. This probably does not read as well on camera because the colors blend, but with the dimensions that are involved in it, you can really see that. Then we've got this little 6x6 here that we could use for a Project Life page, or we could use it for a card, but this is so cute. And then look at this exploding graphic. Also notice these colors really look good, but you're not limited to these bright pops of color. You can use all kinds of stuff. Check out the Pinterest board for a lot of inspiration for it. All right, guys, so let me know what you thought about On Trend Week, and let me know what you think about exploding composition. I think it's pretty cool, and I'm probably going to use this a lot. I think it's a lot of fun, and I get to use a lot of stuff I probably wouldn't have used before. So thanks for watching me this week. I'll see you next week, and we will get started with some more exciting craft projects. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.